The dissolution of human government is a natural and necessary step to the evolution of humanity. This is what it is. It's time. I mean, it's not going to happen right now, but we're on the path of realizing that the law of man, the rule of man, means nothing. It's utterly irrelevant and meaningless and superfluous. And it's all, boil it down to, it's all dependent upon threat. And when we stop perceiving threat, when we expand our awareness to the point where we realize that nothing real can be threatened, what we actually are within these forms is that which cannot be threatened, cannot be destroyed, cannot be destabilized, then all of the illusion of threat and the power it holds just falls away. And so, of course, the law of man, based on threat, falls away. What do I mean it's based on threat? It's pretty obvious. We're told the things that we're allowed to do and not do. If I tell you, no running here, you're not allowed to run here, it's pretty clear that that's not actually true, right? You can do what you want with your body. Your body doesn't stop running. It doesn't lose that ability when it enters this space because I said so. You can, in fact, run here. And your obedience to that rule is really dependent upon the degree of threat that I leverage as punishment for disobeying it. If I tell you you're not allowed to run here, and if you do, you'll go to timeout. That's going to be different for different people. The effect that has, maybe for some people that's enough. That's enough for them to say, "Ooh, I don't want to have to sit in a corner by myself." But for plenty of other people, that's okay, fine. Then I'll do that. That's not enough of a threat to get me to obey your frivolous law. That is how all law is. All of it. The way that we enforce it, again, externally, with the government of man, the rule of man, the law of mankind, is all based upon threat. The threat of shame, the threat of judgment, the threat of punishment, the threat of retribution, the threat of pain. In what way can we make you feel pain so that you decide, oh, well, I'd rather not feel the pain, so I guess I'll choose not to do this thing? That's not power at all. This is a fundamental misconception where we conflate and confuse dominance, which is my ability to inflict, to force an experience upon you, presumably an experience of pain. We confuse that with power. We think that's power. We think that's control. We think that's somehow good for us. We are throwing off the chains collectively of pain. And this is why the self-love movement, which is the spiritual movement, which is the expansion of consciousness, is so powerful and so threatening to patriarchal, which is masculine energy, thinking and systems and mechanisms of control. Because fundamentally, when you embark on this journey of self-love and acceptance, and you start to face your pain, you start to face the shame, which is just an emotional pain. The things that you are afraid of, that's a different kind of pain, things that we're resisting. When we start to embrace those things, then pain loses its power over us. When we can face and embrace our internal experience of pain, we come to accept it, we come to appreciate it, and we have a transformative experience. We discover that, oh, my experience, my perception of pain can be transmuted by my acceptance of it, by my own deliberate focusing of my perspective into a place that sees There is nothing wrong here. There is no danger. There's no threat. There is no questioning of my worthiness or my stability. This is okay. Everything's okay. Now that I'm not resisting the pain, I'm accepting it, I'm inviting it, and actually, I don't feel so bad. I can even, not all the time, but sometimes I can tap into a place where the pain feels good. Why do you think the BDSM community has been shoved into the shadows? Why do you think the rest of, again, the patriarchal mechanism of control wants to shame that? Because there's power there. There is so much power. When pain is no longer a motivation to behave, to follow somebody else's rules, when you can face pain and say, okay, it's pain. Okay, I can get down with that. At the least, it's not going to deter me. At the most, I can actually appreciate it. I can enjoy it. Maybe that's a motivation. Maybe I want that pain. As this happens, it all falls apart. The government of man falls apart. We start to realize that we cannot control each other. We can't. We cannot control one another's behavior. So then what does that mean? That means we start to learn it's up to each and every one of us to control what we can, and that's ourselves. But it's not about control. We realize that the choice that we have, the only choice, is to do what feels good to me. What feels right to me. What feels in alignment to me. Even if we've never spoken that word. That's how we rule over ourselves. And we start to realize things like, oh, I don't want to inflict pain upon other people. I don't want to try to control other people because I don't like that feeling necessarily. Yes, I can tap into the place where I'm in my freedom regardless of who's trying to control me. I'm in my pleasure regardless of the pain, but still, I don't want to be doing that. That doesn't feel good to me. And why would I do something that doesn't feel good to me? And then we start to analyze and reflect and introspect and understand our behaviors in different ways. What are things that I have been doing that I thought I wanted to do, but actually don't feel good? And I didn't even realize they didn't feel good. I wasn't paying attention. What behaviors have I engaged in my interactions with others, my relating with others, that actually I don't want to carry forward because they don't feel good to me. They don't feel authentic to myself. They don't feel beneficial to my joy. We're going to be forced into this analysis and realizing things like, we don't require legislation to tell us how to behave. If we listen to ourselves, we follow what feels good, and we naturally fall into a coordinated, cooperative network of balanced and mutually beneficial relating with one another. When we stop trying to control one another, which we will because we'll realize that it's not fucking possible. So when we finally give up that ghost, we'll take full ownership over ourselves, over our own experience of joy and well-being, and find that we are naturally cooperative. We don't actually want to kill each other. We don't. We don't actually want to harm one another. We're also going to start to understand through the network our sameness, our inseparable interconnection. That for me to harm my brother or my sister is to harm myself. That is not a benefit to me. This is, again, still surface level. There's a deeper discussion about the true nature of harm, and that, again, that which is real cannot be harmed. But neither here nor there. It still necessitates this understanding that for something to truly be of benefit to me, it is of benefit to all, and vice versa. What is of benefit to all is of benefit to me. It's not this moral imperative thing where I sacrifice or someone else sacrifices for one of us to benefit. There's no greater good here or lesser evil or whatever. There's none of that. There is the benefit of all, because we are one organism. We are one organism. Humanity is, consciousness is, Mother Nature. There's no separation. There's no separation. So why would I be fighting against myself? Why would I do that? Why would I engage in this frivolous, ridiculous drama that involves stepping over my brothers and sisters? That's stepping on myself. That's holding us all down. That's holding us all back. Why would I do that? Why would I not just perceive the true reality that there is no hierarchy? We are all in this together. We are on the same level. It is a network, not a ladder. And when one of us benefits, all of us benefit. That's where we're headed. So of course we don't just jump there. It has to be a gradual process. There has to be a mass awakening to this, a mass realization of this. And what that means is an awakening of individuals. That's what becomes the collective. And every individual that awakens sends a ripple out into the greater collective. That awakens another 2, another 4, another 6. As we come to this understanding individually and collectively, we're coming online. We're linking up energetically in a way that can't be measured, in a way that is going to flabbergast science. Eventually we'll be able to measure it and go, oh yeah, it's so obvious. This is how it works. The neural, network that connects to the energetic network, the quantum field, all of that shit. This is where we're headed, and it's a wonderful thing. It's an incredible thing. It's all natural. Everything is going according to plan. Everything. Absolutely everything. One thing that I have heard, and it's natural, and I understand it, and it's something that, I felt at a certain moment, but I want to address it, is this notion that something went wrong. And I know not everybody feels that way. This is just a subset that I've heard, what went wrong? How do we fix this? Nothing went wrong. Nothing went wrong. Nothing is broken. This is the plan. This is the plan. It's a much bigger plan than what it looks like. I can assure you of that. The universe has a plan. The universe has a role for all of the players that are on the stage right now. And I can almost guarantee, not the role that they think it is, but it is the role that their soul is aware of. They're there for a reason. They're following the path that is laid out for them. This is for the highest good. They are in alignment with the highest good. The universe is using all of us. This is all an opportunity for something so much bigger. A huge collective realization that government doesn't work and it's not necessary. And another part of that is that the economic system that we have been practicing also doesn't work and is not necessary. So if there is any concern that, well, you know, the government will fall apart and there will still be this divide and there will still be people in power with absolute control, no, because their mechanisms of control, threat and bribery, right? Pain and money, these two things will become irrelevant. Without that, there's no way to exert power over anyone. If pain is not a threat and money is irrelevant, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You have no power over me. You have no power over me anyway, because I do what feels good to me. That's my motivation and that's my reward. It's entirely self-contained, self-sustained, self-satisfied. It's liberated. I am liberated in myself. The kingdom of myself is free. I'm not going to give that away. I am not. There's no way you're going to fucking convince me to give away my power to feel good. This liberation is all I want, and it's all I need. So no amount of pain and no amount of money can affect that. Furthermore, those systems are going to collapse as a result of our collective realization of this. It's all good. It's all really, really good. I'm excited. Yes, this is still a transition process. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen in 1 year. It's probably gonna take some time still, but we've got a projected timeline. I've heard different things. And a big part of this actually is that there is no set point. This is what makes it so magical. It could happen sooner, it could happen later. It's likely to be within 30 years. I think that's the longest projection. It could be really soon. We don't know. That's what's so amazing about it, is we're outside of time with this. This is new. This is a part of the expansion of consciousness. We're no longer really on a timeline. I mean, we have a projection, we have a direction, but it's not so defined and linear and set. It's organic now. We're branching. I don't know how to explain it. I don't understand it. It's just a feeling. It's just the way that it feels. Anyway. It's pretty cool. It's pretty freaking cool. And it's happening, and it's unstoppable, because evolution this is everything that tries to resist. You see how genius that whole mechanism is? And it's natural too. It's just the way that it works. But you see how genius that everything that is resisted gets bigger is? And when we allow and we relax, we just allow the best possible, most natural, most good feeling thing to take place. When we stop resisting the pain, when we stop resisting the contrast, we actually allow it to serve us. We allow it to evolve into something else. We find a way to appreciate it, to feel pleasure in it, and then we're feeling good in the moment, and that's all we wanted anyway. So what's the big deal with wherever it leads? It doesn't matter anymore. It matters that we're right here, right now, feeling good. And all of the resistance to evolution, the resistance to expansion, the resistance to freedom, the resistance to love, the resistance to self-acceptance, the resistance to empowerment, you see what that does? It just makes all of that bigger. It does. This is how everything serves the light. It can't not. There is no way for it not to. Either it resists the light and the light gets bigger, or it allows the light and the light gets bigger, because light is what there is, baby. It's all love. It's all light. It's all life. It's all truth. It's all good feeling. We can get on board with that now, or we can fight it and eventually get on board with it in a big way, which is great too. Can't get it wrong, can't do it wrong, can't fail, can't fuck it up. It is all so indescribably, absolutely, perfectly good. I love you. Follow your heart. You are the ruler of yourself. It's time for us to start. We start now claiming our authority over ourselves, over our own experience, which is ruled by our perception, right? Freedom is yours. It is not something that can be given to you or taken from you. Security is yours. Well-being is yours. These things are not provided by an external source, and they cannot be taken away. They are inherent, intrinsic to your being. Tap into that. The more you dwell in that knowledge, the stronger you become in it, the better you feel. And yes, it does have an impact on the external experience, but that doesn't really matter. That's natural. That's a natural result. There will still be contradiction. We will still experience in the externally manifested reality contradictions to our true knowledge. And part of that is old energy, old momentum playing out. There's a lot of it. And part of it is because we deliberately desire to be tested by a contradiction in the external experience to push us back into that place of standing unconditionally in our knowledge, to say, oh, no, I'm not tricked by this. Nothing has changed. These conditions don't change what I know to be true. I am well. I am secure. I am abundant. I am worthy. Sometimes we ask for contradictory conditions. I like that. That's called contrast, right? To clarify our desire and to push us back into focus of what we know is true. Sometimes we ask for that. But a lot of it is just old shit playing out too. So one way or another, again, everything serves the light. It's just a matter of learning how to focus your perspective to perceive that. It's time to feel good. It's time to put feeling good first, to radically choose good feeling. What feels good to me? I'm going to do that. That's my power. That's my power. And it's moment by moment. It is not well, these things worked, so I'm going to make a checklist, and now this is the routine that I followed. That's not how it works. It's moment by moment. It's listening to your body, listening to your heart. Does taking a nap feel good today? Does eating vegetables feel good today? Does eating a whole bunch of carbohydrates and greasy food feel good today? Moment by moment. Because nothing is evil, nothing is bad. And we are here for a diverse experience. Really, what feels good the most is listening to and following yourself. And yourself doesn't lead you down one path that never changes. Yourself is here for a party. Yourself is here to sample everything. Yourself is here to clarify your desires. And to follow them and believe in them, and to respect and appreciate the difference between your desires and the desires of another, and the way that they evolve, too. You're never forced into anything. You are never forced into anything. It's all a balance within you. You get to choose. You really, really do. If you have competing desires within you that feel like they're contradictory, you get to decide. You have the final conscious say. You go, well, I know that I feel this thing, but I feel this thing more. Perfect. Okay. They've been weighed. This one has been selected. Everything within you is now backed up to focus in that direction. just trust it. Just align with that in yourself. Just go with it. Leave behind all the shame and the judgment and whatever, the questioning. Pick a path. Go with it. Trust it. That's it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Everything is really awesome. 2525. That's an interesting number as I glanced up at the time. Yeah. Have a wonderful evening. Happy 11/11 portal. It's my fiance's birthday. That's amazing. It's 11/11. Tomorrow is our anniversary and we get married next week. So things are changing. Things are changing. And it's all really fucking good. I love you. Take it easy.